Hey everyone, Pinoy here once again, back with another video for Monster Hunter World Iceborne. In today's video, what we are going to be observing is whether or not SAFI'JIIVA is a potential black dragon for the 5th generation of Monster Hunter games. As we all know, when it comes to Elder Dragons, there is the next level of Elder Dragons in the series, which are considered to be the most dangerous of them all, which are labeled as Black Dragons. In Monster Hunter World and Iceborne, no such dragon was actually discovered. However, there is one potential candidate with the Iceborne expansion, which is currently happening as of right now as an event, by the way, so do check it out, which is none other than SAFI'JIIVA itself. SAFI'JIIVA has been that mysterious Elder Dragon that Capcom teased during the initial Stygian Xeno'jiiva trailer, and during that initial trailer, Capcom didn't really say anything else in regards to this Elder Dragon, so in this video, we're gonna speculate as to whether or not SAFI'JIIVA is a potential candidate for the Black Dragon category within Monster Hunter World Iceborne. If you enjoyed these videos, please consider leaving a like on the video itself and subscribing to the channel so you can go ahead and catch up on any other content that I might be doing in future. Now let's take a look at SAFI'JIIVA itself and whether or not this is a potential Black Dragon. In order to get started in observing SAFI'JIIVA's potential as a Black Dragon, we need to observe some similarities between the SAFI'JIIVA itself and all other previous Black Dragons within the Monster Hunter series. First and foremost, we need to observe the way this monster looks. Second of all, the way the fight goes on in this game. And finally, we will take a look at some supplementaries like the background music when it comes to the SAFI'JIIVA itself. So we'll break it down into these 3 parts, see what we can see on SAFI'JIIVA as well as on other Black Dragons, and just see whether or not SAFI'JIIVA has a potential to become the new Black Dragon for the 5th generation of Monster Hunter games. Let's take a look at appearance first and foremost. In terms of appearance, SAFI'JIIVA itself shares a very traditional Elder Dragon-like look to it from all other Black Dragons in the Monster Hunter series. It's a very unique evolution if you think about it, because if you take into consideration how it looked previously as Xeno'jiiva, Xeno'jiiva really played on that key word, which is Xeno, which usually means alien in most forms of media, and Xeno'jiiva had this very alien-like look to it. However, as it evolved into SAFI'JIIVA, it has this very traditional dragon-like look to it, which it shares with all other Black Dragons in the game itself. There are some Elder Dragons in Monster Hunter World and Iceborne as well as previous generation games that do have the pseudo-traditional dragon-like look to them. However, SAFI'JIIVA is the only one that shares this really traditional look to it. It looks almost like a Western dragon, just like that of Fatalis, the Crimson Fatalis, the White Fatalis, Alatreon, and Darmiralis. So it really has that traditional dragon-like look to it that you can see with most of the Black Dragons. Now, does this mean SAFI'JIIVA is a potential Black Dragon? Not quite yet. I think, from my personal perspective at least, there is a potential that SAFI'JIIVA's overall coloration might change if it goes into the Arch-Tempered state. Now, this is just speculation at best. We're not saying this is gonna happen 100%. But given how the Fury state of Khotoroth works, I'm thinking that if SAFI'JIIVA becomes Arch-Tempered, there might be another state to it past the Supercritical state, which will give it a potential level of a Black Dragon. So that remains to be seen for the most part, but again, this is just speculation at best. We're not 100% sure as of yet whether these aesthetics support the fact that SAFI'JIIVA is a potential Black Dragon. Now, before we move on to the next subject, I do want to keep a note that SAFI'JIIVA does share the exact same eye pattern as that of the Fatalis itself, the OG Black Dragon. So maybe that's a play on SAFI'JIIVA itself becoming a potential Black Dragon in the Monster Hunter series, but again, that remains to be seen, all speculation at the end of the day. Next up, let's take a look at the gameplay of SAFI'JIIVA itself. First and foremost, I consider SAFI'JIIVA to be the true online final boss of Monster Hunter World Iceborne, similar to Khotoroth being the true final boss of online mode in the base game itself. Now, the reason I consider this is because there's always 2 versions of a final boss in the Monster Hunter series. One that is considered the story mode / offline final boss, and then you have the online final boss that many players will need to team up together in order to actually slay. Usually when it comes to the online final bosses, Black Dragons tend to be one of these candidates. In the original Monster Hunter games, the Fatalis was the OG Black Dragon that is considered the online final boss. And much like that of SAFI'JIIVA, if you don't slay the Fatalis itself in time, it will retreat, and much of the damage on Fatalis will carry on to the next time you fight it until eventually you slay it. This is the exact same case scenario with doing sieges in Monster Hunter World Iceborne. The more you do the siege itself, the more damage the actual Elder Dragon takes until eventually you slay it. This is a functionality that happens in previous generation games as well, so do bear that in mind. That's why I consider the Black Dragons to be the true final bosses and SAFI'JIIVA as a potential Black Dragon because it shares the exact same features. Now alongside this, in terms of actually fighting the SAFI'JIIVA, we also have those unique attack patterns that is basically considered as a super move on most Elder Dragons, and SAFI'JIIVA has the most unique one of all. You can literally die from it if you don't follow the protocols that is needed to be done in order to avoid the attack, which is the Sapphire of the Emperor. If you don't go behind crags, you're dead, regardless of the situation. Some people have found glitches where they can walk through it in some way, shape, or form. I've seen people do it, but for the most part, that's the functionality of it. You don't avoid it, you die. And that is what I think kind of potentially supports SAFI'JIIVA being a Black Dragon. First and foremost, the features that it has is shared with some of the Black Dragons in the game as being an online final boss. Second of all, it has a unique attack never seen before in the game that even the Black Dragons of previous generation games can never do, which is one-hit KO hunters unless they follow the right protocols. So I'm definitely seeing a potential for a Black Dragon here, but not quite yet. There's still more to look into when it comes to a potential Black Dragon. Finally, let's take a look at supplementary features. We have armor sets and weapons, as well as the musical theme of SAFI'JIIVA itself. In terms of armor sets, SAFI'JIIVA has the most unique armor of all Elder Dragons out there, including Black Dragons from previous generation games, because it has the unique transformation gimmick that has never been seen before in previous generation games, not even for Black Dragons. Definitely for SAFI'JIIVA, this is a huge supporting factor of me thinking it's a potential Black Dragon, because I've never seen an Elder Dragon, regardless of what kind of Elder Dragon they are, that has a transformation gimmick for their armor. Never. So SAFI'JIIVA definitely has that backing as a potential Black Dragon with the armor set alone. That's both alpha and beta versions, by the way. Both armor sets transform. That is really awesome. Second of all, the unique way you upgrade the weapons themselves is another supporting factor. I don't think, as far as I'm aware, I've seen any other equipment in Monster Hunter games that require you to upgrade the weapon itself to a specific level before you reach its true potential. And I've definitely never seen weapons take on armor set bonuses before. That is completely new to SAFI'JIIVA. So that's two parts of SAFI'JIIVA's equipment that could potentially support it as a Black Dragon. Unique transformation gimmicks in both weapon and armor. I mostly focus on armor on that one. And the unique upgrading system for its weapon. Finally, we have the music. Oh, the music is the biggest supporting factor in my personal opinion. Because when it comes to SAFI'JIIVA's music, it literally shares the exact same kind of feature that all Black Dragons have. The unique Latin lyrical chanting within the music itself. In comparison to previous Elder Dragons as well, SAFI'JIIVA is the most unique because SAFI'JIIVA's theme roughly has 3 to 4 versions depending on whether or not it has your enmity. You have the first 2 phases, then you have the third phase, then you have second phase enmity, and you have third phase enmity. So that's roughly 4 themes of unique Elder Dragon chanting when it comes to SAFI'JIIVA itself. So I'm definitely seeing that as a potential support for SAFI'JIIVA being a potential Black Dragon in Monster Hunter World Iceborne. Now that is pretty much it for this video, taking a look at SAFI'JIIVA in terms of its overall features and whether or not it is a potential Black Dragon for the 5th generation of Monster Hunter games. Now bear in mind, these are just speculations and observations at best. They don't 100% state that SAFI'JIIVA is indeed a Black Dragon. At best, they are just speculations for a potential. Do you think SAFI'JIIVA is a Black Dragon when it comes to Monster Hunter World Iceborne? Or do you think that SAFI'JIIVA is just a standard Elder Dragon at the end of the day? Let us know in the comments below what you think about SAFI'JIIVA as a potential Black Dragon. Now that is pretty much it for me for this video. If you enjoyed these videos, please consider leaving a like on the video itself and subscribing to the channel, as well as hitting that bell icon so you can go ahead and catch up on any future Monster Hunter content that I might be doing or any other games that I might be playing in future. Until then, I hope you enjoyed this video. Thanks very much for watching, and I'll see you next time. Onward and upward.